Welcome to our tutorial on building a quiz game in Java. Whether you're a beginner or looking to sharpen your skills, this tutorial has something for everyone. In this tutorial, we will create a simple console-based quiz game where users can answer multiple choice questions. We'll cover everything from setting up the project to adding functionality and polish to the game. Let's start by creating a new Java project. You can use any IDE, such as IntelliJ IDEA, Eclipse, or NetBeans. We will create a project named Quiz Game. First, we need a structure for our project. We'll create a folder for our source code, typically SRC. Inside that folder, we'll create a class named Quiz Game. Let's start coding. Open your quizgame.java file, and let's begin by setting up our main class and method. Now that we have our main method, let's create a list of questions and answers. We'll use an array of strings for questions and another array for answers. Next, let's create a method to ask questions and receive answers from the user. We will make this method return whether the answer was correct or not. Don't forget to import the scanner class at the top of your file. This class allows us to read user input from the console. Now, let's implement the game logic in the main method. We will loop through our questions, ask each one using our askQuestion method, and keep track of the score. Let's run our quiz game. Make sure you save your file. If everything is set correctly, the game should prompt you with questions one by one. Congratulations! You've built a basic quiz game. Now, let's enhance our game by randomizing questions. We'll use the collections framework to achieve this. We'll create a list from our questions and answers, shuffle these lists, and then ask the questions from the shuffled list. Next, we'll loop through the shuffled questions to ask them. Make sure to adjust your logic accordingly, since the answer list must correspond to the randomized questions. Don't forget to adjust the final score printing section to reflect the randomized questions. Let's enhance the user experience by displaying the score as a percentage at the end. We can calculate it by dividing the score by the questions count and multiplying by 100. Now that we have a functional, randomized quiz game, how about adding a feature that allows adding new questions? We'll create a new method for that. This method takes a question and its corresponding answer, adds it to the existing arrays, and enlarges them dynamically. We can call this method from our main method to allow users to input their own questions and answers at the start of the game. This small addition will make your quiz game much more interactive and enjoyable for your users. Now, let's consider how we can improve the organization of our code. Instead of using arrays for questions and answers, we should use a class to represent a question. This class will represent a quiz question with its corresponding answer. We'll also update how we store our questions. We will also update the askQuestion method to take an instance of the question class instead of separate strings. Now it's time to update our loop in the main method to accommodate our new structure. We are getting to a more organized and maintainable codebase, with questions neatly encapsulated in their own class. Now, let's add exceptions to handle wrong inputs or invalid responses from users. We can wrap our input reading into a try-catch block. This will ensure our game is robust and will not crash on wrong inputs. Instead, it can prompt the user again. Let's enhance our game further by adding difficulty levels. We can categorize questions into easy, medium, and hard. With this change, when adding questions, we can also set their difficulty level and adjust our question asking logic in the loop for filtering by difficulty. In our main method, let's allow users to select a difficulty level at the beginning of the quiz. Now, we have a quiz game that can handle different difficulty levels and keep track of them during questions. It adds to the adaptability and engagement of the game. As a finishing touch, we can enhance our output with colored text in the console to make it more visually appealing. We can use ANSI escape codes for this purpose. With our final adjustments, we have now created a colorful, exciting quiz game. Make sure to run your program to see the effects of your additions. To recap, we have built a quiz game from the ground up, enhancing it with randomized questions, score percentages, custom question input, and even difficulty levels, organized into a neat class structure. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave comments on what features you'd like to add to your quiz game. Happy coding!